With 162 million followers, a $15 million net worth, and a trail of angry comments, Khaby Lame's TikTok empire is crumbling. The silent comedian who once made us laugh is now making us cringe. Behind that signature shrug lies a growing storm of controversy, leaving many to wonder, has TikTok's king lost his crown? Fall off is crazy. Your time is over, bro. Put the fries in the bag. These are not just isolated haters. Our investigation reveals a tidal wave of discontent sweeping through Khaby's once adoring fanbase. From a laid-off factory worker to TikTok's most followed creator, Khaby Lame's rise seemed unstoppable. Now he's being called boring, predictable, and undeserving by the very fans who propelled him to stardom. As Khaby's bank account swells and his Hollywood dreams take shape, a growing army of critics is questioning everything from his talent to his authenticity. The silent star is facing a very loud backlash. Khaby's rise is nothing short of phenomenal. In his first month on TikTok, he gained just 9 views and 2 followers. But undeterred, he posts 6 to 7 videos a day, growing to 4,300 followers. His viral video mocking a boy over shaving launches him into the spotlight with over 65 million views. By May of 2021, he hit 50 million followers. And in June 2022, he surpassed Charli D'Amelio to become the most followed creator on TikTok. Khaby's formula was simple: react to absurd life hacks with deadpan expressions and silent gestures. No words needed, just a shrug and a head shake and a palm up. Isn't it obvious? Motion? It was still comedy distilled to its most basic form, and the internet ate it up. Or did they? As Khaby's follower count skyrocketed, so did the whispers of discontent. Critics argued that his content was low effort, repetitive, and frankly, not that funny. Yet the views kept pouring in, leaving many to question the collective taste of TikTok's audience. Now, as Khaby sets his sights on Hollywood, declaring dreams of Oscar glory, his TikTok empire seems to be built on increasingly shaky ground. The creator who never spoke in his videos is now facing a deafening roar of criticism. As Khaby Lame's follower count surged past the 100 million mark, a growing chorus of voices began to ask, is this really what passes for entertainment these days? Remember when creating content required, well, creativity? Khaby Lame has built an empire on what many are now calling low-effort videos. His signature move is simply standing still, looking exasperated, and gesturing at the obvious. It's a formula so simple it makes you wonder why you didn't think of it first. One Reddit user didn't mince words. Khaby Lame is boring, not funny, predictable, low-effort, and famous just because he uses other people's content. But is this criticism fair or just sour grapes from aspiring influencers? As another disgruntled viewer put it, 90% of his TikToks are low-effort and completely missing the point of TikToks he is making fun of. It seems the king of pointing out the obvious is being accused of missing the point himself. Remember the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Well, Khaby took that advice and ran with it, right off a cliff of creativity. His commitment to the same format has left many fans feeling like they are watching a broken record on loop. He's basically done nothing since becoming #1, one former fan lamented, like he never even made a video celebrating or acknowledging that he was now the #1 most followed TikToker. When your claim to fame is mocking others for lack of innovation, the irony of stagnating in your own content doesn't go unnoticed. Here's where things get really awkward. Remember all those life hack videos Khaby loved to mock? It turns out that a good chunk of them were already satire. That's right, Khaby has been building an empire on misunderstanding jokes. One bewildered viewer asked, I can't figure out if he is too stupid to realize it's a joke, or if he thinks we're stupid and thinks that it's a real life hack by somebody stupid. As Khaby's follower count approached Charli D'Amelio's, the debate about deserved success reached a fever pitch. Critics argued that his meteoric rise was a slap in the face to creators who produce more complex, varied content. Why did we make him the most followed person on TikTok? Became a common refrain. It's a question that cuts to the heart of viral fame. Does popularity equal quality? Or have we as a society set the bar so low that even the most basic content can rise to the top? As one disillusioned fan put it, he's undeserving of his fame and numbers. He's not funny, interesting, or puts any effort into his videos.
It hurts me because these just aren't good and he has so many likes.
The reason I dislike him is because his whole existence created a big, fat, and disgusting double standard. Remember when Khaby tried to take a stand against racism? It backfired spectacularly. His Instagram story saying no to racism sparked an unexpected exodus of followers. But why? Khaby's response was telling. "I'm seeing a lot of comments where people say I unfollowed you because you did this video. I don't mind, guys, you can unfollow me. I don't care about the numbers." Those are noble words, but do they ring hollow coming from a man whose entire career is built on numbers? It's easy to claim you don't care about followers when you have 162 million of them. This incident exposed a troubling undercurrent in Khaby's fanbase and raised questions about the depths of his influence. He later explained in an interview with New York Times, "It's my face and my facial expressions that make people laugh." As previously reported, Lame started his TikTok account in March 2020. By July 2021, he surpassed Addison Rae, making him the second most followed TikToker in the world. At 115 million followers, the 21-year-old was on his way to possibly knocking Charli D'Amelio, who was leading with 4 million followers ahead, out of her #1 spot. Oh, how the tables have turned. The man who built an empire on calling out others found himself in the hot seat when accusations of body shaming surfaced. An account aptly named Canceling Khaby Lame emerged, showcasing clips of Khaby allegedly mocking women's appearances. As if body shaming wasn't enough, Khaby faced accusations of sexism when a clip surfaced of him telling women to wash the dishes. Seriously, Khaby? In 2024? The backlash was swift and severe, with Khaby losing 400,000 followers in a single day. While he quickly regained those followers and then some, the incident left a permanent stain on his reputation. It raised an uncomfortable question. Was Khaby's silent act hiding some not-so-progressive views? His relatability plummeted as Khaby's net worth ballooned to $15 million. The rags-to-riches story that once endeared him to millions now became a point of contention. Fans watched as their everyday guy transformed into a globe-trotting millionaire, and they weren't happy about it. The very success that Khaby had chased now threatened to alienate him from his core audience. It's the classic influencer's dilemma. How do you stay authentic when you're making $750,000 per sponsored post? As of 2024, Khaby Lame remains TikTok's most followed creator, but his engagement rates have notably declined. His pivot towards traditional entertainment, including his movie Double O Khaby and his role as a judge on Italy's Got Talent, suggests a strategic move away from his TikTok roots. Khaby himself seems optimistic about his future. In a recent interview, he stated, "My dream is to become a comic actor, film a movie with my idol Will Smith, then who knows, maybe even win an Oscar." His ambition is clear, but the path from TikTok star to Oscar winner is untrodden and fraught with challenges. Has Khaby Lame's silent act spoken volumes about the fleeting nature of internet fame, or is he just another victim of cancel culture gone wild? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Stealing an elderly woman's dog, stealing bikes, and breaking into a stranger's home without permission, Bakari Bronzogaro has done it all. Why? All for the sweet taste of that intoxicating internet fame. I see how it's addictive, but sheesh!
Mizzy. Have you seen the Mizzy guy?
Better known as Mizzy, the TikToker always knew how to surprise his audience with the unexpected. Breaking laws and pissing off strangers meant nothing to him as long as he got the likes and views. But what he didn't realize is that he was going full steam ahead on a track that ended with him in a jail cell. Just what was the final straw for the public that ended his career as a TikToker and got him banned from the platform? Well, let's find out. Mizzy first joined TikTok on November 1st, 2018. Back then, he was just one of the millions of users addicted to scrolling the apps for hours. But everything changed in September 2022. With a burning passion to steal the spotlight, the prankster broke into the stadium for the Sidemen charity match on September 24th. The organizers had no choice but to close the gates for safety reasons, because of which people who had bought the tickets were forced to miss out. Safe to say, Mizzy got cussed out a lot that day. But did he care? This might surprise you, but he did not even the slightest bit. Instead, the incident ignited a dangerous fire in the young teen, one that would land him behind bars only a year later. This guy is like Joker walking away from that hospital. You see, Mizzy had cracked the algorithm. As the views poured in, he realized that negative attention was still attention. And so it began, Mizzy's reign of terror. He started off by stealing an elderly woman's dog. Then he filmed himself ripping up books in a library, landing himself in hot waters with book talk.
You got a nice dog?
She's lovely, she's
Big gang, whole lot of gangs. We outside!
His wild videos quickly made rounds on the internet as users bashed him for his actions. Meanwhile, his community blamed him for promoting black stereotypes on a global stage. But like I said, Mizzy couldn't care less. Each hate comment gave him an adrenaline rush, and so with time, he kept cranking up the ante, until the inevitable happened. Mizzy eventually got himself a ticket to jail. It all went down May 15th of 2023. That day, Mizzy had the bright idea of breaking into someone's home. He filmed himself casually opening the fence gate to a house in London. If Mizzy hadn't given away the plot in the title, folks would have thought he owned the place, or at least he knew the owners, because that's how he walked in and made himself comfortable on the sofa. He was eventually kicked out when the man of the house confronted him, but the damage had been done. Mizzy was trending worldwide for all the wrong reasons, and it's exactly what Mizzy wanted. But what he didn't expect was he was met with the police to come across his video and put him in handcuffs. Almost a week after the break-in, Mizzy found himself standing before a judge at Thames Magistrate Court on May 24, 2023. And what do you know? The judge didn't find his jokes funny either. So Mizzy was sent home with a 2-year criminal behavior order, which was supposed to tame the wild prankster. But as you'll find out in a minute, Mizzy shrugged off the court order. He was also asked to pay £365 as a fine. A day later, Mizzy sat down with Piers Morgan on his show because, at this point, the internet was burning with questions. Did Mizzy suffer from mental health problems that led him to act this way, or was he really doing this for the sake of fame? As the TikToker answered Morgan's questions, it became increasingly clear that Mizzy suffered from messed up morals rather than a psychological condition. His words showed no remorse, yet there was the faintest hint of brazen pride as he mocked the British law for being too weak to contain him.
You don't show any real remorse. You don't really care, do you?
The UK laws are weak, simple as. And that's not, the UK laws are weak, simple as, and that's not my fault.
The explosive interview only added fuel to a raging fire and pushed Mizzy further into the spotlight. But it seems like fame got to his head faster than a viral video. Within the mere 48 hours of the release, Mizzy was back where he started. On May 26, 2023, police arrested the public menace once again for breaching his criminal behavior order. The court had banned Mizzy from trespassing on private property and asked him to only upload videos with strangers upon receiving written consent. However, Mizzy took one look at the court order only to crumple it up and throw it out the window. Though Mizzy was looking at some serious time in prison, his reliable lawyer managed to sweet-talk him out of the situation. And so, Mizzy was free to roam the street once again on May 30th of 2023. Upon his release, Mizzy posted a video along with a lengthy caption explaining that Mizzy was solely his internet person. If viewers peeled back the layers of disrespectful jokes and wild pranks, they'd discover that Mizzy did actually feel sorry about the situation.
Mizzy and Bakari are two different people, isn't it? Bakari is the mastermind behind Mizzy, and I know Mizzy has made some harsh decisions and harsh pranks. Like, not all my pranks are bad. Like, the media picks and chooses what pranks they want to put out there for people to have their own opinion on.
Don't be fooled. Mizzy hadn't seen the light just yet. He pointed fingers at others, accusing them of casting him as the villain by selectively highlighting certain pranks while disregarding others. Despite his attempts at a sincere apology, it seemed like he still had a long way to go. And guess what? That turned out to be exactly the case. On June 1st of 2023, Mizzy sat down on Newsnight to give his 2 cents on Andrew Tate, another internet personality who had been ticking people off with his fiery words. Put these two in the same room and you've got yourself a migraine. During the interview, Mizzy was asked about his thoughts on little kids imitating Andrew Tate, and that's when he exploded.
Give him the platform. It's literally what it is. You give him the platform. You're giving me the platform right now. Yeah. Everything I'm doing is bad, apparently, what you're saying. I'm on BBC News right now. Like, come on now.
In hindsight, his words carried weight in a way that is the internet is to be blamed for promoting individuals like Andrew Tate and Mizzy. Folks like him were only playing the game, but this kind of strategy only gets you so far in life. It became glaringly obvious that Mizzy needed a cold splash of water in the face to wake him up. And so content creators like Gideon and Sneeko took it upon themselves to do the impossible. On June 3rd, 2023, the three jumped on Rumble to have a chat. Though it's not exactly clear what Mizzy was expecting from the live, Gideon and Sneeko crashed his party. They brazenly pointed out that after being banned from TikTok and YouTube, the future looked grim for the young TikToker.
You're already banned?
Yeah, for the public.
Your plan's already
public outrage. Like, literally, that whole.
Your plan is already.
In hindsight, Gideon and Sneeko were right on the nose with that one. Mizzy got into content creation for the first time when he was in year 8 or 9. For a troublemaker who had been kicked out of school 5 times, it seemed like the perfect career path. However, Mizzy's decision to ask random strangers on the street if they want to die and grabbing school kids by the collar wasn't exactly the best retirement plan. Though at times Mizzy tried to use the race car to explain why he was getting so much hate, the truth is that anyone else in his shoes would have also been burned at the stake. That said, before you head off to search Mizzy's account, once this video ends, let's clear something up. Mizzy doesn't have an account anymore, but you can still find his videos on the platform because nothing ever really posted on the internet completely disappears. As for what Mizzy is up to these days, well, the streets of London have been peaceful for a while, so it's safe to say that Mizzy's been on good behavior, at least for the time being. Believe it or not, the 20-year-old has been trying to set a good example for his son. He's still got a chance to turn his life around. The only question is, will he? At the end of the day, Mizzy's a glaring example of the dark side of pursuing internet fame. His story underscores an important need to think twice before giving someone a platform. Well, that's it for today. Let us know your thoughts on Mizzy. Was he really a menace to society? I'll see you in the next one. Once one of the most followed families on TikTok, the Smithy family was riding on cloud 9. That is until the lockdown was over and their popularity tanked faster than P. Diddy's reputation. The journey to fame can be sweet, but it's not without its dangers. One misstep and it could all come crashing down. Imagine having to throw your 6-week-old son over the fence to save his life after trolls torched your home. The Smithy family went from being loved by their audience to almost having their house burned down because of their reckless actions. And now, no one even cares what they have to say. They first appeared on the internet in December 2019, as COVID-19 was rapidly becoming a global pandemic and everything was shutting down. Hey! The beginning of their content was lighthearted and fun. They regularly uploaded vlogs about their life as a family going through the pandemic and included many fun activities to keep their audience engaged. At the beginning of 2020, they started uploading challenges, comedy skits, and hilarious pranks relevant to almost every age group. They were thriving with their own wholesome family entertainment show on YouTube and TikTok, gaining over 1 million followers. Some of their popular videos of the time include water balloon pranks, in which a family member hides and suddenly surprises the other with a splash to their faces. Another was their food challenges. With mukbangs trending in 2020, they made good use of it and posted videos like Spicy Noodle Challenge and other food compilations that received much attention because of their exaggerated reactions.
Nick, there's no way you're going to be able to stand that. Nick, you're going to be sick. Nick. Oh. Nick. Oh.
But their time in the limelight did not stay hater-free for long, and their actions are pretty much to blame for this. When the lockdown hit and everyone was urged to follow safety guidelines, the Smithy family paid no notable attention to it. This uncaring attitude toward the situation's seriousness really put off many fans, especially those who were directly affected by it. When people questioned their actions, they said, "We're just trying to keep things lighthearted." They ignored the social distancing, and Jess Smith even mentioned having a get-together in their house. They hardly wore masks in public spaces and often passed statements that showed they really didn't care about public safety. After the 2020 backlash they received, the Smithy family started improving their online presence by engaging in Q&A sessions with their audience, where they would answer their questions in occasional live streams. This seemed to have turned things around for them as the audience once again started to engage with their content. By that time, the Smithy family had reached about 2 million followers on TikTok. However, their attempts to stay relevant and not lose their audience became more and more dangerous. They went from having lighthearted pranks to dangerous ones where they could severely injure the kids. In early 2021, they started making prank videos of throwing household items at each other, explosive diarrhea pranks, distressing jump scares, and even faking throwing boiled water, which raised serious concerns among their viewers. Seriously, these people are just waiting to get hurt. Their content slowly went from trendy and fun to extensive and inappropriate in many aspects, especially their prank wars, which would go on for weeks. The members simply settled scores with each other through pranks that could potentially injure the little ones. In mid-2021, it was July when the hate they started to receive from their careless content finally caught up to them. The Smithy family had become the highlight of a type of family that used their own children to gain views and make money. They mostly blamed their dad, Nick, for being greedy. After making enough on TikTok, he even quit his job as a builder in South London. The family's recklessness in their pranks went to another level when they overshared their personal information online, including their home address. As a result, the arson tragedy happened that forever traumatized the Smithy family. Fire alarms blared and flames exploded from the Smiths' residence. followed by a loud bang. It was the middle of the night, and the family had just gone to sleep when two mobs came in their car and threw a petrol bomb inside Nick's car, standing close to the window where the kid's room was. The car quickly caught on fire and started spreading to the house. Nick was the first to wake up. He quickly realized what was happening and took action to save the family. They couldn't get out of the main entrance of their house, which was blocked by the attackers. The neighbors quickly surrounded the place, and they had to climb the fence from their back door to get to safety. Luckily, all 7 members survived the attack with no injuries. But if they hadn't had a back door, the tragedy would have been much more terrifying. It looked like the arsonist's hatred for them was so sick that they actually wanted to kill their family, including the baby boy who was only 6 weeks old at the time.
6-week-old boy was behind those windows there when you done that, when you pried open the door and you poured the petrol into the car.
In an interview with The Sun, the dad said with tears in his eyes, "My girls were in this room, but that doesn't matter to you, does it? One of you filmed it while the others did it. I don't think you realize the consequences. It's my little girl's room. They've just got it how they want it." In another video, he mentions his distress, calling it unforgivable, saying, "We all got out of the house okay. The kids are fine, the dogs are okay, the house is not okay. The kids are in a safe place. To the people who have done this, you could have killed our family, and not only our family, my neighbors, my friends. It's unforgivable." An LFB spokesperson explained how the authorities handled the situation. "Everyone was out of the building before we arrived, and crews worked incredibly hard to prevent further damage to the inside of the property and to neighboring properties. The incident was streamed on all mainstream media platforms, and the family gained huge attention because of it. However, instead of taking a break from the internet, the family decided to capitalize on their tragedy. They posted several videos documenting everything about the aftermath of the arson tragedy, from the emotional responses of each member to the entire process of rebuilding their home. Tom Manley decided to raise a GoFundMe for the Smithy family to help with the repair of their house, and they managed to raise over £40,000. But much to their donors' disappointment and to their own stupidity, instead of seeing them investing it in house repairs, they uploaded videos of the family on a brand new jet ski.
Hey, we're at sea. We are out and about on the jet ski. Today, jet ski. Here we go. Oh no! Gone, gone.
Their videos received huge backlash for wasting people's aid in luxury. But having their home and car destroyed was only the beginning of what was coming to them. Apparently, the family could not control their oversharing habit, so they had to move from one house to another. Yet the trolls somehow always got in their way. They were accused of horrible crimes. Nick spoke about the emotional abuse they were facing. They would post horrible comments about us. They also kept reporting our videos to try to get us banned from platforms. It was organized trolling. Starting in 2022, the Smithy family seemed to settle down finally. They focused on rebuilding their social presence by participating in charity work and collecting £60,000 of gifts for the Salvation Army over Christmas. However, the world has since moved on from them, and their continuous blunders for the past 2 years clearly stunted their growth. Their audience barely grew throughout 2022, and most people just found their content boring and repetitive, with the same old pranks and jokes. In 2023, even crossing the 3 million mark didn't seem much of an accomplishment, as it was half of their original growth rate. The trolls didn't stop with their attacks, and the family was clearly running out of content ideas. At present, their videos would hardly get over 1,000 views in months on YouTube. Their outright refusal to accept any genuine criticism, not to mention the many controversies that arose with people considering the arson attack an inside job of an insurance company Nick was affiliated with, really raised questions about their intentions. They continue posting every day on their channel, but the world really doesn't seem to care anymore. If you've never heard of Beavo, then boy, are you in for a treat. He's a famous influencer from the UK with over 1.4 million followers on TikTok. He originally went viral on the internet for swallowing his food whole without really ever chewing it. I know, what a weird thing to become famous for. Well, now he's currently trending again, but this time for an even more insane reason. He has recently come out to say that TikTok fame has ruined his life and made him broke. Bearing in mind, this is the same Beavo who bragged about earning over 10K a month on TikTok. I mean, seriously, how do you go broke earning 10K a month? Like seriously. Beavo has a history of scamming people, and he admits that it might have been responsible for his downfall. He said,
Lying, trying to make a character, trying to be like these other influencers. It's all backfired. It is all backfired.
Even his relationships have now been affected. Since he isn't making that much money, he claims it is putting a lot of pressure on his girlfriend. Well, what else did he expect to happen? He said,
my relationship is rocky now because I'm not earning money, putting pressure on her. Yeah, and I'm just getting a lot of hate. And I just don't think I can act this anymore. I really don't.
He's not broke, it's a skit. One viewer commented, this isn't the first time Beavo was acting desperate and in a bad situation. He once claimed to be homeless during an interview.
Not too great, Aggie. I've recently become homeless.
Only to later admit to everyone that he was lying.
Well, I went homeless for one day. I went to stay with Aggie and then I moved back in with my dad. So my mum did kick me out.
Oh, so that wasn't real?
No, I was homeless. Well, I wasn't homeless. I never was homeless.
I thought you was really homeless.
No.
While he might not be lying this time and may actually be facing some tough times, you can't blame us for doubting anything the TikToker has to say. He has a history of trying to gain sympathy for exaggerating things about his life. Beavo's latest statement comes after his appearance on the Whatever podcast in May. During the podcast, Beavo mentioned that he has an open relationship with his girlfriend, Sophia. If you think that's bad, trust me, it gets worse. His girlfriend has an OnlyFans account, and apparently Beavo will bring his male friends and let them sleep with her for content.
She brings me friends, I'll bring her friends, parties.
You bring her male friends?
Yeah.
Wait, so your male friends will...
Yeah.
Honestly, what the hell is wrong with these influencers? If we can even call them that anymore. Beavo said that he wasn't really into such a dynamic before. So was it his girlfriend that convinced him to have such a relationship? Apparently not. According to Beavo, he just didn't want to live the boring life anymore.
So she kind of convinced you to make it open?
Not really, she just made me open my eyes and live life a bit, you know, and it's just, again, I don't want to live that boring life. I don't want to have to get up at silly o'clock in the morning and get home at silly o'clock of the night for basic money. I want to live life, mate.
What does that have to do with having an open relationship? The host and the other guests were as confused as I was. I mean, seriously, he was asked why he can't just have a monogamous relationship. Podcast somehow got even more embarrassing. Tired of all the questions, Beavo asked one of his own.
Do you want to know how big my cock is as well?
That's kind of a out-of-pocket weird question. No, not really.
Well.
Open relationships can result in STDs, and the host asked them whether this was a concern for their relationship. They both mentioned that they had been quote-unquote tested, and Beavo even claimed that they tested everyone else that they brought in. If you say so, Beavo. Beavo then made a shocking revelation, which is a major reason for his downfall. He revealed that they apparently do all this on camera for the content. He admits that he participates in his girlfriend's OnlyFans account. Apparently, his eating videos were not enough for him, so now he's eating something else, if you catch my drift. Jesus Christ, dude. With the money that his girlfriend makes, it seems that she provides for Beavo as well. When the host called her the breadwinner, Beavo got defensive and reminded everyone that he also makes money from his videos. He's not a broke or a slave. Yikes. It seems the host really hit him where it hurts.
I make bread. I still do well on TikTok.
No, yeah,
I still make money.
You've got your own.
I still make money. I'm not just a broke. I'm not her slave.
He mentions that he still makes 5 figures a month. So then, how did he go from that to now claiming he's broke and can't afford a home? Well, you can see now why so many people are skeptical about his recent claims. After everything he revealed during the podcast, Beavo became a laughingstock online, as if he wasn't enough of a joke already. Honestly speaking, who wouldn't make fun of him for this? We thought he couldn't get any more strange after those ridiculous chewing videos, but apparently we were wrong. Beavo now admits that the whole podcast was a mistake as it backfired on him. Despite all the drama, Beavo had been enjoying his life recently. The TikToker wasn't just appearing on podcasts, but also visiting nightclubs. A recent clip shows him rapping at a club, with the audience chanting, "Beavo! Beavo! Beavo!" You could argue that he has become sort of a celebrity at this point. His fame reached a point where Luke Littler, also known as The Nuke, a rising star in professional darts, wanted to have a celebrity match with him. After winning the Premier League darts final, Littler called out Beavo to be his opponent in a boxing match. But unfortunately for Beavo, this challenge was not done out of any respect. On MMA Hour with journalist Ariel Helwani, Littler made it clear that he despises Beavo. He said, "I don't like him. He just swallows potatoes whole on TikTok." He had like a whole Sunday roast whole as well. He's just saying what all of us think already. You might think the way Beavo eats is funny, but for some of us, it's just gross to watch.
No, just swallows potatoes whole on TikTok.
This guy, you don't like him?
No.
He swallows them whole.
Yeah.
Littler would love to fight with Beavo. He said, "I'd love to do a celebrity boxing match. Why not? It's like a proper person. It's not a darts player." Beavo responded to the challenge on his TikTok, firing back at Littler's comments. He said, "Lukey, Littler, what the hell are you doing calling Big Beavo out?" Beavo is a lot of things, but he certainly isn't big. The only thing big about him at this point are those turkey teeth he's had done. He goes on to call Littler fat and says that they should eat some kebabs together.
Back and forth, bro, do you want to eat some kebabs together because you're a fat man? I thought, bro, let's get him involved. He's doing the darts. Let's get him on the TikTok world. And bro, you're calling me out for a boxing match.
Beavo was just surprised by the challenge to a boxing match and suggested that Littler was too heavy for the fight. "Just get in the gym, mate, because you're probably too heavy to fight me anyway," Beavo said. Well, Beavo is certainly the last person to be talking about fitness. Does he even lift, bro? Even Littler thinks that Beavo has fallen off. He used to get millions of views for his videos in the past, but now he's only getting around 100,000. People must have gotten tired of Beavo. You can only fool your audience for so long.
By the way, he's got a lot of followers on TikTok.
He's dropped off a lot though.
Oh, he has?
Yeah.
He's fallen off.
He used to get millions of views, but now he's only like getting like 100k, 200k.
While Beavo has scammed many people in the past, it's also important to mention that he himself has been the victim of fake news. Several accounts once spread a hoax on TikTok, making people think that Beavo had died. The TikTok star came out and blasted social media trolls after they spread the false rumor. The trolls had said that he had died after choking on some pork chops. Ah man, the glory of the internet, eh guys? Apparently, even Beavo's family fell for it, he said. "My eating videos have made me really popular, but trolls used them to say I died by choking on a pork chop. It was just bizarre to see news you had died spread online. My family spotted it before I could tell them, and I had to call them to say I was okay." Let's not forget that Beavo became famous by making videos of himself swallowing food like this. So we can't really blame people for being concerned about his health and well-being. Well, that's it for today. The more we learn about the personal lives of these TikTok influencers, the more we realize fame comes with a price. What do you think is in store for Beavo in the future? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.